Okay, so at this point you should have a stack of your strips. Hopefully you've taken the time to pair those up. It takes you maybe 30 minutes. Just lay those out. You know, start pairing them up with what you think looks good, okay? This is gonna be beautiful, so don't overthink it. Just pair them up. When you're making the stack, make sure each pair is right sides together. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna prevent you from accidentally sewing them wrong sides together, or you know, something like that. So take the extra time, go ahead, put them right sides together, wrong sides will be outside, and then make your stack of all of your strips. And I would go ahead and do all of them. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and show you how to chain piece. And what that's gonna do is make your piecing much more efficient. You'll be able to move through all of these strips because we do have a lot of strips that we're trying to sew together. You'll be able to move through that a little quicker. First thing you want to do is make sure you have your quilting foot attached to your sewing machine. If you want to mark your 1/4 inch with your tape, you can. I used the quilting tape, but you can also use the washi tape like what we do in class. The thing you want to do is make sure your sewing machine is set up for a true 1/4 inch. We're not really doing a scant quarter. This is more of a true 1/4 inch. So go ahead and either do the math on your machine, or if you're using the Brother, you can use the same settings we went over on Sunday. So you're gonna take your first pair of rectangles and we're just gonna sew those like we normally would, okay? And that's gonna take me a second, but we'll put that under our presser foot. Go ahead and lower the presser foot down and start your sewing. So there's nothing about this that's any different than what you would typically do. Just working your way all the way to the end, making sure that your rectangles, the edges of your rectangles, I should say, the edges here are in line. These are cut, of course, the same size, so there's really no difference in them. Okay, so we're getting to the end of that. I'm going to zoom in to give you a closer view there. You can see how that needle is just to the end of that strip. We're going to go ahead and take our next pair. I'll zoom back out a little bit. So we're going to take our next pair, and again, they should be right sides facing. We're going to place those under the presser foot. And when we lift the foot, we're just going to butt this one up to the previous one. So let me zoom back in. You can see how they're just butted up to each other. They're not overlapping. Okay, that's very important. You do not want to overlap them. All right, we'll go ahead and sew this one together. We're sewing off of one and onto the next. And again, just make sure everything is in line. And just sew all the way to the end. So you're probably already getting an idea of how this works. Very simple, okay, but much faster. You can turn on your audiobook, you can turn on your podcast and move through these somewhat quickly. My tape is crooked there, so I'm not following it. If you guys are wondering, I've kind of got it set a little bit wonky. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let me zoom out a little. We're gonna go ahead and take our next pair, right sides together. I'll show you one more, okay, as far as how I sew off of one onto the other. So just making sure those are in line. And when we place it, again, you can see that the needle is just to the edge of that previous set of strips. We're gonna raise our presser foot, have that one right there, just to where it's touching, and then you can start sewing. And we'll sew all the way to the end of this one. And I wanted to show you how these are joined. So when you're looking at these two, you can see the connection point there. It's just what, maybe one stitch, okay? And then we keep going down the chain, we get to the next one. Again, just attached by a couple stitches there. So hopefully this video was helpful. Again, just set your timer for 30 minutes, see what you're able to get accomplished in one setting, and you should probably move through maybe 1/3 of them or something like that, and then just set them to the side and, you know, get to it again the next day. So let me know if you have any questions, happy to help. And